And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Brothers and sisters, this prophecy in Revelation 13 will be fulfilled when church and state unites to enforce the national Sunday law, which will be an act of homage to the papacy, brothers and sisters. But I want to let you know that in the end, Jesus will win. But in the meantime, God has given us prophecies in the end to let us know what is coming. The Bible says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely will come, and it will not tarry. Ignoring Bible prophecy isn't going to stop it from coming to pass. Ignoring Bible prophecy gives the enemy a chance to deceive you. Prophecy is not meant to scare, but it's meant to prepare. Brothers and sisters, we know the two major players. The second beast power, the United States, will enforce the worship of the first beast, while the first beast is making its way around the world, ingratiating itself till one day all the world will give their power and strength unto the beast, which will lead to the enforcement of the national Sunday law. Brothers and sisters, in this time, it's going to happen in so many ways. But let me tell you this right here. As you already know, all roads, they say that all roads lead to Rome. Well, I'm letting you know that all roads will definitely lead to the enforcement of the national Sunday law. This is the reason why we must give the trumpet a certain sound. The spirit of prophecy says, let the watchmen now lift up their voice and give the message which is present truth for this time. Let us show the people where we are in prophetic history. Welcome to the Project Latter Rain television broadcast. This is your host, Dr. O, reminding you that this is the truth of the hour, filled with the Holy Ghost power, and it is too sweet to be sour. Brothers and sisters, we got some power-packed stuff to let you know that this thing is right on the horizon, and the articles for these things are right on the screen right now, or at least in this post right now. Get ready for breaking news. We know that the enforcement of the Sunday law will come in different stages. Some say 4, some say more, some say less. But brothers and sisters, we're going to show you that stage 1 of the Sunday law is now being discussed right now on the internet. And I found an article yesterday, but then again, there's some other articles that came out today, and we're going to talk about it. But before we get into these articles, let's look at stage 1 of the Sunday law. And you can look at things like the Green Sabbath Project. Stage 1 of the Sunday law, at least the agitation of it, will promote one day every week of doing nothing, where you can take a weekly day of rest, make it a Sabbath for you, for the earth. Don't drive, don't shop, don't build, known as the law of attraction. Sister White talks about this right here. I will try to answer your question as to what you should do in the case of Sunday laws being enforced, at least in stage 1. The light given me by the Lord at a time when we were expecting just such a crisis as you seem to be approaching was that when the people were moved by a power from beneath to enforce Sunday observance, Seventh-day Adventists were to show their wisdom by refraining from their ordinary work on that day, devoting it to missionary work. Why? To defy Sunday laws will but strengthen in their persecution the religious zealots who are seeking to enforce them. Give no occasion to call you lawbreakers. If they are left to rein up men who fear neither God nor man, the reining up will soon lose its novelty for them, and they will see that it's not consistent nor convenient for them to be so strict in regard to the observance of Sunday. Keep right on with your missionary work, with your Bibles in your hands, and the enemy will see that he is worse than his own cause. One does not receive the mark of the beast because he shows that he realizes the wisdom of keeping the peace by refraining from work that gives offense while doing at the same time a work of the highest importance. Sunday really is the best day to do missionary work, brothers and sisters. And what happens is this right here. The Lord has given us counsel. Now, what happens is this right here. That's stage 1, the law of attraction. But stage 2 comes. Stage 2 of the Sunday law comes when they tell you you need to honor and worship on Sunday to the exclusion of other days. And what happens is this right here. They're gonna tell you have to worship on Sunday. But what happens is this right here. Stage 3 of the Sunday law is where the law prohibits worship on Sabbath, where you can't worship any other day but the seventh, but the first day of the week. You can only worship on Sunday. And this is where fines and imprisonments are imposed. Right now, there are fines being levied or about to be levied in Canada for those who won't go along with the jab, to where you can't buy or sell, brothers and sisters. And of course, the fourth stage is the death decree, when we got to get out of these cities. But we're not at that stage yet. We're right at the beginning of stage 1. Before any other stages can come, what happens is this right here. It will be an agitation to do it. Refrain from work on Sunday, day of rest encouraged. And this is where we can use this day for missionary labor. And remember, all this is going to come as a thief in the night. It's all going to come as a thief in the night. So it's going to be very, very subtle. But what happens is this right here, brothers and sisters, we need to get ready. The law of attraction is right upon us, and we're about to see some things take place. We're getting ready to see some things take place that we have scarcely dreamed of. In such an hour as we think not, brothers and sisters, the Son of Man is going to come. And all I can tell you is this right here, man. The Lord has shown us some stuff here at this ministry, and we're getting ready to show it to you right now. Let's get right into the first article. Now, yesterday, we did our last program. Look at this right here. I'm not even going to read it, and they won't let me show the rest of this. But look what this article says. Now, look what it says here. It says Americans need a break. Maybe blue laws can help. In this article, they tell you that Americans need a break. Maybe the blue laws can help. Look at that. Americans need a break. Maybe the blue laws can help. This came out 2 days ago. But what's happening is that I found 2 other articles, and just finding them, and we thank God for the faithful lay people who show me these things, and we just have a spirit. But I wasn't a lay person that helped me find it. I found this myself. This came out yesterday. Look what it says right here. This article says, could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? Look at that right there. Could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? Look at that right there. Could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? Brothers and sisters, we know they're coming back, and it's going to come back on a national scale. Brothers and sisters, the Sunday law, brothers and sisters, is right upon us, and it's going to come as a thief in the night. So we are confident to present these things to you, brothers and sisters, because of what the Lord has told us is going to happen. So they said, with Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? Brothers and sisters, okay, yes, it's going to come back. And brothers and sisters, we better get ready, because all I can tell you is this right here. We're going to we're going to look at this article. Look what it says right here. It says, could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? Here's why some political commentators and legal scholars are tweeting their support for taking a Sabbath. Look at that. Could Sabbath, this is January 11th. This came out today. Could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? In other words, can Sunday laws come back? Even before the COVID-19 pandemic began, Americans were overworked and tightly wound. In the past 2 years, the situation has only gotten worse. Pandemic-related stress and a widespread desire for more time to rest are among the factors of fueling the Great Resignation. So this tells me right here that, that what we're seeing right now with the pandemic, things are being manipulated to bring about the idea that we need a day of rest for America. Brothers and sisters, we need to watch this. Look what it says right here. They also help explain why some political commentators and legal scholars spent the weekend debating the Sabbath. The conversation began with a tweet from Adrian Vermeulen, a law professor at Harvard University. He highlighted, notice this right here, the reinstatement of Sabbath laws, which we know are Sunday laws, as one of the several policy goals that unites post-liberals, a group of conservatives who say that they're focused on promoting the common good. And we know what the common good is all about. Sabbath laws, which are also known as blue laws, were once a major part of American life. Although they came in a variety of forms, the policies had shared a purpose, limiting certain commercial activities to 6 days per week. Notice this right here. And Sister White talks about how in the last days that they're going to command us to work on the Sabbath and rest on Sunday. So brothers and sisters, this is not out of the realm of possibility. In other words, blue laws forced both business owners and the people they serve to take a day of rest. And under past policies, that day was almost always Sunday. Until the last few decades, Sabbath laws effectually shut down Sunday commerce in much of the country. Joel Mathis in a Monday column for The Week. Brothers and sisters, this is very deep. Now look at this right here. Now what is this article saying? I think it's the article that we were showing you. Americans need a break. Maybe the blue laws can help. Have mercy. Maybe the blue laws can help. In this article, they talk about it right here. And one of the things that the post-lib one of the things that Adrian Vermeulen is arguing to, one of the things he's arguing is about Sabbath laws to be done. Now, notice this right here. It says it on Twitter right here, but that's not the issue right here. What happens is this right here. They talk about a new era of blue laws could hold some appeal even to the not so religious left. That is very, very interesting. Blue laws association with the Christian Sabbath, which they think is Sunday, helps to explain why part of the debate surrounding Vermeulen's tweet centered on religious discrimination. Legal experts pointed out that forced closures on Sunday disproportionately harm some people of faith, including Jews who observe the Sabbath. But let me tell you this right here, the whole world's going to wander after the beast anyway. Similar religious freedom concerns fueled a legal challenge to blue laws that the Supreme Court heard in the 1960s. But what happens is this right here. It says in May of 1961, the Supreme Court ruled that Maryland's Sabbath laws did not violate the First Amendment. The justices acknowledged that the restrictions had their roots in Christian practice, but said they served important secular purposes, including, watch this right here, the promotion, wow, look at that right there, including the promotion of public health. And look what we're going through right now. We're going through a public health crisis right now with this COVID-19. So brothers and sisters, they're talking about stage one, law of attraction, Sunday rest. But look what it says right here on this article. Although the ruling was significant, it didn't guard against Sunday law demise. Soon after the Supreme Court used secular arguments to rule in favor of blue laws, policymakers across the country began to use secular arguments to justify their appeal. So what happens is this right here, man. In 2019 in North Dakota, offered by then familiar arguments to explain their support for overturning the nation's last statewide ban on Sunday trading. They said that the move would promote personal freedom and help business owners by boosting revenue. Quote unquote, who but a few skulls could complain, said Sorab Armari in a recent Wall Street Journal column about the fall of Sabbath laws. Wow. And notice this right here. We are encouraged to pursue lives of constant action and purpose, which we do. Let's look at this article for a minute. It says, what we lost in rejecting the Sabbath. Wow, look at that right there. When did this come out? It came out in May of last year. What we lost in rejecting the Sabbath. Man, I tell you, this is powerful. It says here, setting aside one day a week for rest and prayer used to be an American tradition. In an age of constant activity, we need it more than ever. What we've lost in rejecting the Sabbath. There is an agitation for the law of attraction. Listen to this right here, man. This is very deep. Rest is hard to come by these days, argued Mathis in The Week, noting that the pandemic-related developments have deepened this already common problem. For many Americans, the pandemic has given rise to remote work that has blurred the divisions between home and labor. While working class folk are often subject to just-in-time scheduling that makes home life difficult to sustain. Now look at this right here. Frustration with the status quo fueled engagement with Vermeulen's tweet. People from across the political and religious spectrum generally agree that Americans could benefit from being forced to take at least one day off each week. Wow. If the right and the left can agree on anything these days, maybe it's that workers should get a day off now and then, wrote Mathis. But look what it says right here. However, consensus will likely fall apart if conservatives insist on reinstating blue laws in their own form. What he's saying is that if we reinstate them from a religious standpoint, it's going to fall because of the separation of church and state. But little do they know that Protestants will be foremost stretching their hands across the gulf to grasp the hand of spiritualism. When spiritualism gets involved, people are going to lay aside all things. She says, under the influence of this threefold union, this country will follow in the steps of Rome in trampling upon the rights of conscience. So what happens is that spiritualism will have to be a part to play. It would be better to mandate rest on a day that notice this. It would be better to mandate rest. What mandate are we looking at right now? We're looking at a public health mandate for vaccination. And now, brothers and sisters, as you already know, that this prepares the way for religious legislation. I told we're going to do Sunday Law Junior Part 3 pretty soon. Look at this right here. To mandate rest on a day that does not raise religious freedom concerns. Wow. Elevator pitch. A secular Sabbath that starts on Thursday evening. This will create a 4-day work week and also preserve new religious neutrality. Notice this right here. Workers may love this idea, but any sort of one-size-fits-all closure policy will cause problems, as many responders to tweets, here's tweet pointed out. For example, Larry Yudison, the editorial director for Jewish Press, noted that Jews would struggle to prepare for their religious Sabbath if stores were closed during the day on Fridays. The best solution, listen to this right here, to burnout, at least in the short term, might be for individual Americans to find ways to take a rest on their own terms. Wow. Some Christian business owners, including the family behind Chick-fil-A, already do this by voluntarily closing up shop on Sundays. Other Americans observe a digital Sabbath by turning off the notifications from their phones. Wow. Even just leaving your phone behind when you get a lunch is a step in the right direction. So what happens is this right here, law of attraction, brothers and sisters, a digital Sabbath. Look at this right here. This is screen-free Saturdays. Praise God that they're talking about it on the right day. But what happens is we know that this is going to be promoted on the papal Sabbath. Could Sabbath, look at that right there. Could Sabbath closure laws make a comeback? I want to hear from you. What do you think about this article? I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, this is truly prophetic. Is headed down the alley that we've been talking about for so many years, brothers and sisters. And yes, it is time to finish the work, brothers and sisters. And what happens is prophecy fulfilling? Oh, yes, it is. Prophecy is definitely fulfilling right before our very eyes. And brothers and sisters, I have another article that just came out today or yesterday that's promoting the same thing. It's interesting how we're seeing now articles, even in January this year, the idea of promoting a day of rest. With all the things that are going on right now, with the event that just took place last week, Saturday, talking about the renewal, America, a spiritual solution to America in crisis. Now we're seeing the agitation of the very thing that we've been talking about for so long. Brothers and sisters right here, this is deep, man. Oh, I tell you, it's like they said, it's not a matter of could it. The answer is this right here. It's a matter of when. Listen to this right here. Oh, I tell you this right here. They're starting just like, that's right. That's right. It's starting just like with the you know what. It's a suggestion, and then, of course, it's enforced. So, brothers and sisters, let me tell you this right here. God is showing us what's coming down the pipeline. But I have another article that I found, and this is from the American Conservative. We need to spread this video far and wide. God is showing us what's getting ready to happen. Look what's going on right now. Look what it says. It says the post-liberals fight for the weekend. Notice this right here. The post-liberals fight for the weekend. And this came out. When did this come out? It came out yesterday. It says, could any other issue, notice this right here, unite the core constituencies of the new right? Notice this, quite like, look at this right here. Sabbath restoration. Wow. Look at that. Sabbath restoration. Now, you know what that's talking about. You know where this is leading to. This is leading to the enforcement, brothers and sisters. This is leading to the enforcement, brothers and sisters, of a Sunday law. I told you, I've been trying to tell you for so long, and look what's going down. Look what's coming down the pipeline. This is very deep. So is there a Sunday law in the pipeline? The answer is absolutely yes. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you that we are looking at the agitation, brothers and sisters, for stage 1 of the National Sunday Law. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to stand up as Seventh-day Adventists, because let me tell you this right here. Sunday Law Junior has paved the way for Sunday Law Senior. And I've been trying to tell you for so long, and look what's going on. Look what's happening right now. Look what's coming down the pipeline. And look at this right here. Sabbath restoration, mercy. Look what it says right here. The future of the American right is post-liberal. Don't take that from me. Take it from the mainstream media. In recent days, prestige outlets have published a number of deep dives into the cohort of scholars and writers pushing the right to govern for the common good, have mercy, rather than abandon society to acidic market forces, corporate domination, and the progressive left's cultural furies. Notice this right here, brothers and sisters. Let me just get to this right here. Listen to this right here. This is very deep. With the growing attention, notice this right here, comes often heard questions and criticisms. Some lodge in good faith and others not. The most commonly heard question come objection is this: what do you post-liberals want concretely? Why do you always deal with abstractions rather than practical politics? Now, bottom line is this. Adrian Vermeulen, we've been talking about him, for example, is a council member of the Administrative Council of the United States and the nation's foremost expert on administrative law. Gladden Pappin has toiled for years on family policy. But notice this right here. And lawmakers on both sides of the Atlantic seek out his counsel in this area. But listen to this right here. The question is this right here. Then there's the restoration of the American Sabbath. Notice this right here. Then there's the restoration of the American Sabbath. Blue laws. A proposal. Watch this through here. Vermeulen brought up in response to the latest round of questions of why post-liberals don't dwell in policy detail. In my most recent book, The Unbroken Thread, I devote a chapter to exploring the Sabbath's meaning in the modern world. And while the loss of American Sabbatarian tradition has made us not more free. Wow. An essay based on that chapter appeared in the Wall Street Journal. Now, what's that talking about? What we lost in rejecting the Sabbath. Wow, man. So I'm not even going to read the rest of this. But what happens is this right here. That's a very interesting article. And what it says here, I don't want to recapitulate the whole argument here. Rather, I want to make my case for why post-liberals should pursue it. What? Pursue what? Wow. Wow. I want to make the case for why post-liberals should pursue it as a concrete campaign in 2022. Wow. He's about to make an argument of why we need to have, why they need to push for Sunday laws, brothers and sisters, this year. So, I tell you what, that's right, Sister Myra. They're going to ask for the Sunday law. And that's right, Karen Johnson. The Sunday law is here. I told you. This is why. I'm telling you. So what happens is this right here, man. It's an agitation. They talk about pushing for a Sunday law this year. Have mercy. Now, does that mean that Sunday law is going to come this year? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. But what happens is we got to be watchmen. And it says 2022 and beyond. I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you they was going to do it? Wow. I'm telling you, this is deep. This is very deep. That's right. This thing is almost over. It's almost over. And we're going to just give you some more. Let's look at some more here. Look at this right here. It says, quote, a concrete campaign this year and beyond. For starters, the Sabbath speaks profoundly to the restlessness and the misery that it is the loss of millions for Americans. The erasure of the boundary between toil and rest is something felt as much by white-collar professionals as by working class Americans, albeit in different ways. America's blue laws were abolished in the name of freedom, but it turned out to be freedom for Jeff Bezos and other large employers, not freedom for workers or families. That's where the labor unions are going to come in. Plus, the Sabbath is good realignment politics at a time when workers have the job market advantage. A campaign for the Sabbath can bring to... Oh, man, Sister White's a true prophet. I told you. Woo! Look what it says here. A campaign for the Sabbath can bring together labor unions, religious conservatives, and small business owners. There it is right there. There it is right there. Didn't the Spirit... What am I supposed to believe? You know what? And this article came out yesterday. So, brothers and sisters, it said that this can bring together labor unions. It's time. It is time. That's right. It is time to get out of these cities, brothers and sisters. Wow. Stage 1, the law of attraction. We'll be covering this at the Sunday Law Update at State Line. Brothers and sisters, it's over, man. Look at this. A campaign for the Sabbath can bring together labor unions. Wow. Religious conservatives and small business owners. Notice this right here. What other issue can unite the three core constituencies of the new right quite like the Sabbath? Wow. Man, Sister White's a true prophet. Such a union wouldn't be a novel thing, moreover, as historian Gillis Hart recounts in his book, Protestants and American Conservatism. It was an alliance of Christians and the nascent labor movement at the end of the 20th century that managed to stop Sunday mail delivery. Applying Sabbatarian laws to federal mail delivery was a flashpoint between Protestant activists and pro-businesses type throughout the 19th century. Wow, look at this right here. A Sabbath campaign. Wow, a Sabbath campaign. In other words, a Sabbath campaign. You know what a Sabbath campaign is? Let me ask you a question. What does he mean by a Sabbath campaign? What does he mean by a Sabbath campaign? Wow. You know what that is? It's an agitation for a Sunday law. That's what he's talking about. A Sabbath campaign would also serve as a reminder that America has non-liberal traditions. A certain kind of classical liberal likes to pretend that America was a Reason magazine project from its origins. But this is what Patrick Deneen calls an invented tradition. In fact, Americans carved out a day of rest and worship, going back to the colonial era, not just in Puritan New England, but in New Amsterdam and Virginia. Finally, notice this right here. Finally, there is no originalist case against Sabbatarianism, as I noted in the Wall Street Journal essay. So seriously did Americans take the Sabbath legend that even President George Washington got an earful from a local magistrate for riding from Connecticut to New York on a Sunday in 1789. By insisting on Sabbatarianism, post-liberals can now highlight how free market fundamentalists have no roots in the tradition. Bosses give us back our weekends would make for a potent slogan. Give us our weekends back. Brothers and sisters, this man wants a national Sunday law. I've been telling you, and when did this come out? This came out January 11th, 2022. This came out yesterday. I'm trying to tell you, and this is truly something. Let me tell you this right here, man. All I can tell you is that we need to continue to watch and definitely get the message out, because something's getting ready to happen. It's going to come as a thief in the night. Now, will a national Sunday law happen this year? We don't know. We don't know because God did not tell us. It is not for us to know the times and the seasons. But when you see articles like this where they're talking about brothers and sisters doing this kind of stuff, he said it right there. It was right there in black and white. So what happens is we're on the right foot when we talk about this, myself and other people that are talking about this. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you this right here. It said right there that this movement for Sabbath laws can bring together the labor unions as well as the religious conservatives. Exactly what the Bible and the spirit of prophecy told us over 100 years ago. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to wait until it happens. We need to receive the latter right now. It's time for us to finish the work. It's time for us to get this truth out. And it's time for us to receive the righteousness of Christ, which is the law abiding character of Christ, imputed and imparted to our accounts through faith in his blood. Ellen White says that we must take a firm stand that we will not reverence the first day of the week as the Sabbath, for it is not a day that was sanctified and blessed by Jehovah. And in reverencing Sunday, we should place ourselves on the side of the great deceiver. Deception is going to come into play, brothers and sisters, and then it's going to put Babylon on top. The Bible says, by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And brothers and sisters, the sorceries are about to come out. Therefore, it's time for us to wake up, because this thing is on the horizon. When is it going to come? Only the Lord knows, but it's time for us to talk about it. Ellen White says that all in regard to this matter is not yet understood, nor will it be understood until the unrolling of the scroll. The whole world will be in harmony with the Sunday law and will unite themselves with the papacy in the violation of the law of God. And it's going to be very short, very terrible. But remember, the final movements will truly be rapid ones. Brothers and sisters, the whole world is soon to be in harmony with the Sunday law. And look what it says right here. Ellen White said in Vision that the wicked was saying that the whole world was converted and in harmony with the Sunday law. Have mercy. What more shall I say? They declared that they had the truth and that miracles were among them, that angels from heaven talked with them and walked with them, and great power and signs and wonders were performed among them. And this was the temporal millennium that they've been expecting so long. Ellen White talks about there'll be a grand movement for the conversion of the world and the ushering in of the long expected millennium. So brothers and sisters, we know what's getting ready to happen. Great controversy talks about it. It's time for us to get these books out. It is time. No need to water this truth down, because brothers and sisters, God is confirming the truth as it is in Jesus, and we better be ready for this crisis. And let me tell you this, the only way we can be ready is to be rooted and grounded in Jesus. When the root is deep, there is no reason to fear the storm. Why? Because on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Brothers and sisters, why we're seeing the same thing over and over again, to where stores are closed on Sundays. We're having Sunday lockdowns to stop the virus, to stop the spread. Man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if this year that they start talking about Sunday lockdowns. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to put it out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they start in the United States of America, especially if certain mandates don't go through, that they'll start talking about, well, you know, since we can't do it, let's just have a lockdown one day out the week, and that day gonna be on Sunday. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you this right here. It's here, brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you right now that God is letting us see this stuff. And, you know, we see the encroachment of this right here. I'm not waiting until the lion is right upon me, ready to devour me. I'm gonna give the trumpet a certain sound long before it comes down. Brothers and sisters, let me show you the video that we showed in our last video about this right here, where they're talking about Sunday lockdowns in different parts of the world. Look at this right here in India.
Reporting a big surge. This is now talking about Omicron and the manner in which a surge is being seen across the country. South India too is affected. In fact, Tamil Nadu is reporting a big surge. The state is seeing over 10,000 cases in the last 24 hours. Tamil Nadu government has announced a night curfew with a complete lockdown on Sundays throughout the state. Commercial entities, malls, shops, restaurants will not be allowed to function beyond a certain period of time, but essentials will be allowed. Milk vans, trucks carrying essentials have been exempted. There will be no metro rail service or public transport on Sundays. COVID cases in Tamil Nadu have crossed the 10,000
total Sunday lockdown right now.
Mark. The last time it did so was on the 18th of April. On the 7th of January, the state recorded over 9,000 cases, close to 9,000 cases.
So what happens is, because of what's going on with the surge, and we just want to let you know, we advocate safety. Please take care of yourself. Just do everything possible to keep yourself healthy naturally in Jesus' name. Brothers and sisters, what's going on? You see Sunday lockdowns right now. I'm telling you, it's only going to be a matter of time. When who knows? Maybe the Sunday law may come through Sunday lockdowns. We don't know. But let me tell you this right here, brothers and sisters. Now, this was 3 days ago. Look at this right here. Now, look at this. I'm going to show you this from here. 3 days ago. Look at this. The first Sunday. Look at that. This is a Sunday lockdown right now. This is Sunday lockdown. This is a Sunday lockdown right now in India. Look at that right there. Everything is closed on Sunday to stop the spread. I'm telling you this right here. 10,000 police personnel oversaw the implementation of the lockdown. The Bible says the Ethiopians and the Libyans, which is the police power, will be at its steps. Daniel 11:43. Look at this right here, brothers and sisters. Because of the spread, they're talking about Sunday lockdowns, brothers and sisters. Do you see that we're in the beginning stages of the little time of trouble? Jesus is letting us know what is allowed in the Sunday lockdowns. Look at this right here, brothers and sisters. Woo! Essential services are allowed. But brothers and sisters, other than that, everything is closed. Look at this right here. Food and takeaway services can function between certain times. This is in India. I'm telling you, it's coming. I believe it's coming to America. I believe it's coming to America. This could be part of the law of attraction, brothers and sisters. Look at this right here. On Sunday. Why on Sunday? It'd be more consistent to have a lockdown every day of the week rather than on the first day of the week. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, things getting ready to come. Look at that right there. People can travel on Sundays to attend family functions, including weddings, by providing invitations. Functions can include a maximum of 100 people. But look at this right. Look at that. Sunday lockdowns. What is not allowed in the Sunday lockdowns? I'm telling you, a national Sunday law is getting ready to come. Look at this. Functioning of transit systems on Metro are not allowed on Sundays. Have mercy. Look at this right here. Functioning of e-commerce. This is it, brother. I'm telling you, it's here. Non-essential activities and gatherings of people. The only thing that's going to be allowed, brothers and sisters, is probably going to be church in the last days. And what's going to be deep? Look at this right here. According to Chief Minister N.K. Stalin's announcement on January 5th, complete lockdowns will be observed in their state on all Sundays. This is it, brothers. I'm telling you, man, it's about to happen. I'm telling you, man, this thing's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to happen. I told you it's getting ready to happen. And look what's going on right before our very eyes on all Sundays. Brothers and sisters, remember, the lockdowns that we did in America did not start in America. It started somewhere else, brothers and sisters. And maybe Sister White says, all in regard to this matter is not yet understood, nor will it be understood until the enrolling of the scroll. This is Sunday Law Junior, brothers and sisters. This is Sunday Law. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Something's getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters. This thing is getting ready to go down. I'm telling you, man. That's right, Chris, Brother Wellington. We are nearing home. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is serious, man. You can't look at this stuff, man, and be saying this is a conspiracy theory and stuff like that. How could this be a conspiracy when it's right along with the very thing we've been talking about for so long? I'm here to let you know, brothers and sisters, I don't know how long these things are going to keep happening. But brothers and sisters, you saw the article today. You saw it. Maybe I should you saw the article. They said to push, what the conservatives need to do is push for Sunday laws. And they said that when they do this, that it's going to help. It's going to help with the labor unions and stuff together. I'm telling you, this thing is real, man. This thing is real. See, they did Sunday lockdowns and then they lifted them and now they're bringing them back. But I'm just going to ask you. I'm not. Wow. I told you. I'm telling you, man, this thing is real, man. This thing is real. This thing is real. And that's the reason why we're about to see it. It's going to happen. Notice this right here.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Mirror Now. I am Hira Gambhir. The big story that we have for you at this point in time is coming from the state of Tamil Nadu. And amid rise in COVID cases there, from 6th of January, night lockdown will be imposed in the state of Tamil Nadu. And the timings are going to be 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. All the commercial complexes, shops and hotels will not be allowed to function. Now, after cities like Delhi and Mumbai, even in Chennai, we are seeing a spike in COVID cases, and now this is what the Tamil Nadu government has decided, that there's going to be a night lockdown. And we will be going across to my colleague Mugilan in just a bit to understand what all is going to be allowed in this night lockdown and what will remain shut. Okay, Mugilan is joining us in the broadcast this evening. Mugilan, good evening. Can you tell us what would this night lockdown really mean?
Look at that. Look at this.
Okay, we'll try and reconnect with Mugilan in just
Sunday
a bit.
lock.
But that's
Look at
the
this
big
right here,
update
y'all.
that we are getting for you at this point in
Look at
time. From
this.
6th of January, which is tomorrow, there's going to be a night lockdown that will be imposed in the entire state of Tamil Nadu.
Wow.
The timings are 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So far, what we know is that all the commercial complexes, shops and hotels will not be allowed to function as well. Now, this is because of a sharp spike in COVID cases in the entire state of Tamil Nadu. That we are seeing these kind of restrictions kicking in, and this time a night lockdown is what has been announced by the government, and that is going to be with effect from tomorrow, from 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. There's going to be a curfew sort of a situation. Mugilan, in fact, is now joining us live
Everything
this evening. More on this.
Sundays.
Mugilan, good evening. Could you tell us what exactly is going to be allowed and what won't be allowed between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.? Because usually around this time, the commercial complexes, shops, and the markets clearly remain shut in any way.
Man, look at that.
Definitely, yes.
Closed on
As
Sundays,
the COVID
baby.
cases continue to rise in Chennai and in the state, now the Tamil Nadu state government have come up with several new restrictions. And yes, as you rightly pointed out, from tomorrow 10 p.m. onwards, that there will be night curfew. But as you rightly said, yes, shops in Tamil Nadu, the shops, hotels, and the other commercial establishments are allowed to function till 11 p.m. In the state till usually, but now after the light lockdown it will be shut by 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and during this lockdown period, that is during the night lockdown period, what we are learning from the Tamil Nadu state government is that the interstate public and private transport will be allowed, and all the essential services and emergency services will be allowed during this night lockdown period. And the petrol bunks will be allowed to function 24/7, and all the continuous processing units and manufacturing units, IT firms, the people who are working, employees who are working in these firms will be allowed to come out during this night lockdown period, but they should have valid ID card with them. And the government have once again advised all the IT firms to encourage work from home for their employees, and if someone is going to an airport, railway station or a bus stop, they can use their own vehicle or they can hire a vehicle to reach these places, but they are supposed to possess a valid ticket, is what we are learning from the latest announcement. And on Sunday, there will be a complete lockdown, and during this complete lockdown or full lockdown, the public and the public transport and the metro transport will not function, and during the full lockdown, in hotels, the only parcel services will be allowed from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And importantly,
look at that. Everything closed on Sundays, brothers and sisters. Brother, is God. God is showing us that it's coming to America. It's going to be a lockdown on Sunday anyway. Do you understand this right here? And this is what I really believe. This is what my prediction is. Whenever this happens, if they introduce the idea of Sunday lockdowns in the United States on a federal level for the whole country, brothers and sisters, I guarantee you, brothers and sisters, because we had a lockdown already. 7 days a week for many weeks. Do you understand this already? So if they just said, look, we're not going to lock society down. We're just going to lock down just 1 day a week. And what happens is churches will be exempt and religious organizations will be exempt from the lockdown. You can be open. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, something's getting ready to happen. Continue to watch this video.
Several other restrictions also that have been put in place by the Tamil Nadu state government, including no permission for play schools and nursery schools to operate, and more importantly, physical classes will not be conducted for 1st standard to 9th standard.
Look at that, lockdown on Sundays, and you're telling me that this is just all a fluke. You know what? It's what it is. We're not going to argue with nobody no more. If people don't want to believe, then that's on them. If you don't want to believe that this is the beginning of it, then hey, it's what it is. This thing is getting real. I mean, what do you think about that video? I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, look at this right here. What do you think about this right here? This is very deep. I'm telling you, this is serious, man. I'm telling you. How much longer? How much longer, brothers and sisters? Did not tell you. I'm telling you, they're bringing back Sunday lockdowns. And it's only a matter of time when the United States does it. If they watch, because see, like I told you, I remember my wife was the first person to show me about the lockdowns they were doing in China. And I'm like, man, that would never happen in America. But look what happened. And look what's going on right now, brothers and sisters. And man, just looking at what's going on, I have to admit, I don't know when we're going to get up out of this. But let me tell you this right here, man. God is letting us know. See, because listen to this right here. You can't lock down all of society. You just can't do that no more. I mean, this could go on for another couple of years. You understand this right here? So what happens is this right here, man. But notice this, all because of the virus. Look what it says right here. But look at this. Now, if you don't believe that a Sunday law can come in Israel because of the Jews and stuff, you got another thing coming. I'm going to show you a video. This is from 11 months ago. And this came out. Now, they did a Sunday lockdown in Israel. Do you understand this right here? I'm telling you, man. I mean, let's go on.
Iris, despite the lockdown and the vaccine. Joining me now from Jerusalem is Iris Mackler.
I'm sorry. Forgive me for saying it like that. They didn't have us on their lockdown. Forgive me for saying it like that. Take that back. Please excuse me. But what happens is this right here. They definitely had lockdowns. And they have lockdowns everywhere. If the whole world can lock down 7 days a week, they definitely can do it 1 day a week. And listen to this right here. Now, this is what I want to show you right here. Fox News Sunday.
Some 13 Democratic governors are seeking re-election in 2022, with COVID precautions overshadowing much of their time in office, and midterms coming as opposition to more mandates across the country is on the rise. Joining us now, Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey, who will take over as chair of the Democratic Governors Association in 2023 post-midterms. Governor, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Good to be with you, Brett. Thanks for having me.
You know, Governor Hogan just mentioned the spiking numbers in Maryland. You in New Jersey have spiking COVID cases as well. You've said everything is on the table if these numbers continue to rise. What does that mean for New Jersey?
Everything's on the table.
Listen, this virus has humbled all of us. Every time you think you got to figure it out, it takes a turn you don't expect, and 8 out of 10 of those turns are negative. So you've got to leave all those options on the table. Right now, we think we have the right package in place in terms of a layered approach to deal with this, but our numbers are going up. The Omicron variant is real. We've already been battling the Delta variant. This is unrelenting. There's an enormous amount of fatigue out there as it relates to this virus. By the way, I get it. I've got that same fatigue, but we got to stay vigilant, and we will stay vigilant.
You know, you've locked down before, and this is, as you said, serious. Would you consider locking down the state of New Jersey again?
You hear that?
You have to leave it on the table, but I don't see it, Brett, honestly.
He's saying he doesn't see that, but you have to leave it on the table. So what happens is, it's always an option. So what happens is this right here. Potential lockdowns to stop the virus. You can't take it off the table. And so what happens is this right here. Say if they can talk about that, then who can tell me, how can somebody tell me that you will never have Sunday lockdowns in America to stop COVID-19. You can't say that it can't happen, brothers and sisters. And let me tell you this way, if it does happen, if it is introduced exactly as you seeing it on the news, brothers and sisters, it's only going to be a matter of time before the agitation of Sunday worship comes by law, and Satan comes as Jesus, and the Satan comes as all the dead loved ones, and Protestants will stretch their hands across the gulf, and before you know it, it may not be a 2023 as far as I'm concerned. Man, it's over, man. It's over. It's over, brothers and sisters. Oh, man, I mean, come on. I mean, this thing is real, man. This is very real. This is very real, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, this thing is, I tell you, you better keep your eyes on Jesus, because this thing is getting ready to come down the pipeline like never before. Is there a Sunday law in the pipeline? Absolutely, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, man. Man, I'm telling you, this thing is real, man. And this thing with these lockdowns, because what happens is this, because you have to ask the question. Oh, look what happened in China. Look what happened in China. Hold on. Look what happened in China recently. Just this week. Let's look at, not this week, last week in China. They locked down again. And is this a real virus? Absolutely. Is this a real public health crisis? Absolutely. Should you take precautions? Absolutely. But look how this thing is going. Look at this.
Combat COVID outbreaks, which is complicating an already strained supply chain. Eunice Yoon joins us right now with more. And Eunice, this is a pretty big deal if you start thinking about the millions of people who are now in lockdown at this point.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually more like tens of millions that are in lockdown or in partial lockdown. A lot of people now have several restrictions imposed on them, including here in Beijing. The COVID center that's behind me said that they're seeing a 25% surge in demand for tests because employers as well as officials are demanding these tests for their daily work. Now, Omicron has been confirmed now in a third Chinese city, the port city of Dalian. The state media, quite late today, reported that Dalian has 2 confirmed Omicron cases. Both of those are traced back to Tianjin, where Omicron was first detected. Tianjin also confirmed another 93 cases and ordered businesses to close for a half day so that the city could conduct another mass round of testing of the 14 million people there. Anyang, which is a city in an electronics manufacturing area, also reported 65 new cases. Now, industrial zones near Tianjin port said on their social media account that their operations, as well as the operations of the port, are operating normally, though the extent of the potential impact there, as well as in other parts of the global supply chain, are still a big question mark. Toyota said that its production in Tianjin has been halted. As for Dalian, this is a port that's quite important to American companies. It specializes in imported food, such as U.S. soybeans. Also, Intel, Coca-Cola, Goodyear all have factories in Dalian. And then in case there's any question mark as to how seriously the Chinese government takes their zero COVID approach, Dalian court today sentenced 3 port workers to up to 5 years in jail for breaching COVID protocols, such as wearing a mask or protective gear.
Wow,
guys?
Man. So, brothers and sisters, let me tell you this right here. You see how it is getting in other parts of the world? Man, I tell you, man, they're imposing lockdowns. And look at this right here. I mean, Europe is doing it. It's been talked about climate lockdowns and stuff like that, man. I mean, only know now, granted, we know that you can't, like I said, you cannot lock down society forever. You just can't. I mean, that would be unsustainable. But brothers and sisters, if we did a lockdown 1 day a week to stop the spread, I mean, think about it. First of all, that don't make any sense at all. These Sunday lockdowns, these Sunday lockdowns in these countries too does not make any logical sense. It'd be more better to just do a lockdown every week, day of the week. But what's happening is that, and they're not even giving religious reasons. They just say on Sunday. I could have seen if they did a Saturday lockdown rather than Sunday, but they're doing it on Sunday and stuff like that. Why are they doing this? Seventh-day Adventists, those of you that are students of Bible prophecy, can you tell me why? Do you see this as a precursor to the enforcement of the national Sunday law? Do you see that? Talk to me, Seventh-day Adventists, because what happens is God has given us, Sister White says that all in regard to this matter is not yet understood, neither will it be understood until the unrolling of the scroll. The scroll is unrolling right before our very eyes, whether people like it or not, no matter how people feel about these kind of presentations by myself and others. The bottom line is this right here. Something is coming down the pipeline. It is. You can see it right now. That's right. These are precursors to the Sunday law, brothers and sisters. Did you see that? Did you see that, brothers and sisters? These are precursors to the Sunday law. And that's the reason why we're preaching the straight testimony to give to you here on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. Because let me tell you this right here, man, this thing is getting ready to come. And I'm telling you this right here. That's why this is all prophesied in the book of Revelation. And the writings of Sister White only confirm what God is already saying. Let me tell you this right here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And oh, yeah. Something. Oh, yeah. I forgot one more thing. Where they got internment camps, Washington. All right, yes, and people have been sending this to me, and I forgot all about it. Hold up, and I still need to read some stuff on this right here. Now, what happens is this right here. There's been a rumor that that about stuff going on in Washington State about putting people in camps. Now, this is from the news. It says, no, Washington won't forcibly quarantine those who have the virus or unvaccinated. It says the State Board of Health has received thousands of emails about an agenda item that will be discussed at a meeting later on this week. We pray that doesn't happen.
Well, claims are going around that...
Here it is right here. Yes, indeed. So we'll show you the video in just a second. But what's happening is this right here, man. You know, great changes shall soon take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. I mean, we are seeing this happen right before our very eyes. Let's continue to watch this video. We're going to show you this video right now.
Create laws that would allow them to force unvaccinated people into quarantine. This comes as the state...
One more time.
Well, claims are going around that Washington politicians are trying to create laws that would allow them to force unvaccinated people into quarantine. This comes as the state's Board of Health is set to decide on changes to certain quarantine rules.
So our own Ian Smay looked into that law and checked with the experts to verify. Ian?
The State Board of Health has received thousands of emails about an agenda item to be discussed at a meeting this week. So we set out to verify if claims that the state is considering forcing some to quarantine are true. One viewer emailed us claiming state lawmakers are considering adding COVID to an existing quarantine law. They asked in part, does this proposal allow health officials to use law enforcement to force an emergency order to involuntarily detain a person or group in a facility if the person or group refuses to comply with requests for medical treatment, testing, counseling, or vaccination? Our sources are Washington State Board of Health Chair Keith Grellner and House Bill 1551, which deals with quarantining. According to Grellner, this claim is far from the truth.
Just to be really clear, our board meeting on Wednesday is there are no conversations about isolation and quarantine camps. There are no rules existing or in the making to create isolation and quarantine camps.
The Board of Health is looking at making changes to a current part of the Washington Administrative Code to make it more in line with changes brought forth by House Bill 1551 in 2020. That bill removed outdated language from the 1980s that targeted people with HIV/AIDS. According to Grellner, the state isn't trying to forcibly quarantine those with COVID-19 or who are unvaccinated.
There are no rules and there is no process in place to create a rule to involuntarily quarantine or isolate COVID-19 positive people, irregardless of vaccination status. There are no laws and no plans to do that.
He also said the State Board of Health has received more than 25,000 emails about these claims. Some of those messages have crossed the line.
Board of Health members and our Board of Health staff, we're actually being threatened. And it's not okay. It's not what you do in a first world country.
So we can verify that no, the state isn't trying to forcibly quarantine those who have COVID or are unvaccinated. If you've got something you want us to verify, email us at verify@crem.com or text the word verified.
All right. Well, we hope and pray that that's the case. So what happens is, but you know what? Whether they do it, we know that there will be camps for those who don't go along with the Sunday law. There will be those in prison. So we know this. See, what happens is this right here. Prophecy has to be fulfilled. And what happens is this right here. And are there people who want to do this kind of stuff? Absolutely. So what happens is this right here. We can't take nothing off the table. So this is deep, man. And so what we need to do is this right here. Jesus has told us what's getting ready to happen, and we need to understand that what you're seeing here is a precursor to the Sunday law. And brothers and sisters, we at Project Latter Rain, we're going to continue to give you these messages here on this program and also at State Line Seventh-day Adventist Church every Sabbath, brothers and sisters, because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do as a watchman. And this is what Jesus has told us to do. And in the end, it's going to be worth it. If millions are undeceived, brothers and sisters, who are going along with this movement, going along, yeah, we need to have a Sunday law, can watch these programs and other programs and get converted to the present truth and come out of Babylon and join up with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Brothers and sisters, my work has been fulfilled, and I'm looking forward to seeing Jesus on the sea of glass. How about you? We thank God for each and every single one of you. Give your life to Jesus. Now is the time to give your life to Christ. Do not delay another day longer, brothers and sisters. Let us go forward under the showers of the early rain and the latter rain. Always remember that you can never lose the name that we choose. And his name is Jesus Christ, the King of the Jews. And that this is the truth of the hour, filled with the Holy Ghost power, and it is too sweet to be sour. This is the Project Latter Rain television broadcast, wishing you God's blessings. And until next time, may God truly and richly bless you.